Right, so it's Mr. Dosser back with another video. Today's one's going to be different. We're going to be talking about the top 10 hot hatches you can buy under 10k. There's a lot of 10s in that. Before we get into it, could you please like, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you think and what you want to see next. And let's get into it. So why am I doing this video? Something a bit more down to earth. I'm always talking about expensive cars, the downfall of this, that and the other. You know, talking about things that cost 6 figures and above. This is more attainable. We're talking about below 10k. You can get a 10k loan now. I'm not saying you should, but I'm just saying example. Your monthly repayment will be less than 300 a month. Actually, probably about 180 quid a month or something roughly. Anyway, let's get into it. No particular order. Starting off at number 1, we've got the Focus ST. Now, this is the Focus ST with the 4-cylinder engine. It's an old school hot hatch. It comes up the garish colours, you know, the blue, you sort of mustardy yellow, get it in white as well. It's a turbocharged 247 litre, 2 litre 4-cylinder engine. Burbles, pops, got all of it. 0 to 60s dealt with in 6.5 seconds. And as it's a Ford, you know the handling, the steering will be on point. Now, in terms of the actual price and stuff, I'm looking at ones, for all of these cars, I'm looking at ones that are decent examples. I'm not giving you bottom of the range. You can pick one up for about £8,000 to £9,000, like a decent one with respectable service history, etc. It comes in different variants. You've got the ST1, ST2, ST3. The latter being the ST3 with more equipment as standard. So try to go for either an ST2 or an ST3. Next on the list at number 2, we have got the Mini Cooper S. The Mini Cooper's been around for ages, been around for a while. BMW obviously bought out Mini and redesigned it. It's not really mini as such these days. It's quite a big car. Whilst it's not as practical as maybe the Focus ST was, it's a well-known car. It's a retro car that's iconic, and it's known as a pocket rocket. It's not the quickest. 0 to 60 is about 7 seconds, so not as quick as other hot hatches. However, it has charisma and it just annihilates B roads. It's really good fun. So whilst it is slightly more expensive running cost of BMW, it's definitely one worth considering if you want real good fun. In terms of price, you can pick one up for about 8 to 9k. That'll be like a 2014-15 one. If you want an earlier one, you can pick one up for about 6-7k. Again, I'm trying to find decent examples. You might be able to find one Auto Trader, etc. for like £4,000 or £5,000, but I think it's best to stay away from them if you want an easier, less painful experience, owner experience. Right, next up on the list, number 3, we have got the Megane 250 Cup. Now, if there's one thing I know is Renault Sport know how to make a hot hatch. Since the days of the Clio Trophy, 182 Trophy, they know how to make a hot hatch. Whilst the Megane does require you to make more compromises than other cars, other hot hatches, because the ride is very firm, there's limited space in the back, you know, so far it doesn't sound that good, does it? However, the steering, the engine, everything is amazing. The way it sticks to the road, and it has a real presence. And I think, as with a lot of French cars, design element, the exterior looks fantastic, looks amazing. So it has a 265 litre, 2 litre 4-cylinder turbo engine. 0 to 60 is dealt with 6.1 seconds. Again, I think this is one of the quickest ones in the list. And it sticks to the road. You put some Pilot Sport 4s on there, Michelin's, it will annihilate any B-road, end of. So the Cup version in particular is an absolute hoot. It's even more rapid, agile, and it's fun. And guess what? You can pick a 2014 one up of even the 265, which has a bit more power, for about £8,000. So I definitely think this is one worth considering if you can deal with the ride and the slight impracticality. Definitely one worth considering going for. Next on the list, we got the Golf GTI. Now, the Golf GTI has been with us for quite some time. I've already spoken about in the previous video why I think the new Golf isn't the one to go for. Well, save a bit of money and get yourself an older one. The 5th generation car was a welcome return to the GTI brand. The 4th was a bit of a miss. 5th one was amazing. 6th one was more of a evolution, I'd say, but with a 208 horsepower 2 litre 4-cylinder engine, 0 to 60 about 6.5 6.7 seconds. Handles quite well. It's very balanced. It's not the most lively of cars, the most agile of cars, but someone said to me, you need to go from point A to B. You don't know the road, you don't know the surface. Is it narrow tracks, you know, English country roads, etc. This is probably the car I'd want because it gives you the mix of refinement, comfort, speed, agility. If you need to chuck people in the back, you can. You need to chuck stuff into the boot, you can. You need a trip to B&Q DIY store, you can do that as well. You can get a 2012 example, a really decent one for about £9,000. Maybe you'd be able to get as low as £8,000 in some cases. I wouldn't go much lower than that if you want a decent example. Right, Number 5, next on the list, the Mazda MP3S. Well, actually, I got that wrong. It's the Mazda 3 MPS, or what they call the Mazda Speed. Now, this for me is an amazing car. I've actually driven a Mazda 3. It's an amazing car, and it's one that's actually held its value remarkably well. We're talking about 2010, 2013, 14. That's the sort of era we're talking about. It's not to everyone's taste with the front bonnet scoop. However, in terms of being a quick car, it is up there. It really is up there. Underneath, it's based on the Focus. However, whilst the inside isn't the best, it's not the most refined car. It comes as standard with the Bose speakers. Not only that, but it has a very, very good engine, a 2.3 litre 5-cylinder. What you'll notice, a lot of this list I'm giving, a lot of them are 4 cylinders. This one's different, 5-cylinder petrol, and it sounds really good and is a really nice car. In terms of the actual car, you can unlock a lot of power. Stage 1 remap will give you 300 horsepower, and that's easily doable with literally takes like 15-20 minutes to do it, and it's fast even by modern standards. The only thing to look out for is watch out for timing chain rattle. The timing chain on this 2.3 litre needs changing at around 60,000 miles. You'll be able to tell you hear rattling noise on the driver's side. Changing it though can be quite expensive. You're probably going to be looking about £1,000 bill, but don't get me wrong, it is a fantastic car. If you can find one with timing chain having been just done, or it doesn't need doing for at least another 30,000-40,000 miles, this will give you good value for money. And what you'll find is there's not really many of these around. You might see a lot of Focus STs and a lot of Golf GTIs. You won't see many of these. And with that Bose speaker standard, I'm telling you right now, sounds amazing. As a hatchback, obviously it needs to do a lot of things, and this is one of them that does them very, very well. Next up on the list, at number 6, we've got the Fiesta ST. We all know about the Fiesta ST. It's an amazing car, and we're going down in size, but it's talking about like super minis effectively. This is the car for unparalleled driver enjoyment. Under the bonnet, we got 179 horsepower, 1.6 litre turbocharged engine. It's a very lively engine, and on top of that, you got the 6-speed manual gearbox. So the standard Fiesta 5-speed, this is upgraded to 6-speed. It is pretty much the best handling small, ultra small hatchback by a country mile, and it makes a great noise. Earlier ones, they do have quite a stiff, sporty ride. If you can put up with that, which I think majority of people can, it's an amazing car. Comes with Recaro seats, bucket seats, plenty of power, very practical. Unfortunately, doesn't come as a 5-door, only a 3-door in the earlier ones, but the only issue with these, and is literally the only issue, is they get stolen a lot because they're so good. They're so good and they're so easy to nick due to keyless entry. They can get nicked, they can get stolen. So that's one definitely worth considering. Right, next up on the list, number 7, we've got the Suzuki Swift Sport. Again, we're looking at a similar sort of super mini, rival to the Fiesta ST. Now, this one is getting bigger. However, the Swift Sport still maintains to its diminutive size, still within that range. It's lightweight, agile, energetic, fast, fun, and it has a 1.6 litre engine similar to the Fiesta ST. It's a true pocket rocket, and you can pick one up for quite cheap. You can pick one up quite easily, like a 2016, for like 6 grand, 7 grand, and you could probably get an earlier version about 5 grand. They really are good cars to go for. I just realised I missed out on the Fiesta ST. Fiesta ST can pick one up for about 7 to 8k. Anyway, on to the next one. Number 8, we got the Octavia VRS. Something a bit different, something a bit more premium, you might say. You might think, hang on, this doesn't really come under the thing. But guess what? The Octavia VRS still a hatch. Underneath, we got a lot of mechanical bits from the Golf GTI. Now, it is a bit bigger, a bit heavier, but you know, the 0 to 60 is roughly the same. It's got a 2 litre engine, again, a VAG VW engine with 217 horsepower. However, you can also get a diesel variant with 181 horsepower, but that has more torque. In terms of fun levels, it's not the same as the Golf GTI, and the interior isn't as good. It's like 90% of the way there. But in terms of if you need more space, this is one of the biggest cars on this list, and in terms of an everyday car hits everything, this is probably one to go for, and you can pick up a 2014 one for 8 to 9k quite easily. So definitely one worth considering if you've got a young family, you need that boot space, you need that rear leg room, one to consider. Next up at number 9, we got the Astra VXR. Now this is a well-known car. Now as a car, this was a real surprise from Vauxhall. Comes in a very nice electric blue, comes with a 6-speed manual. In Interior wise, it was alright, not the best, but it did the job. But exterior wise, striking. Honestly, you see one on the road, people turn their heads. Second gear pulls immense, 280 horsepower, really good. Problem is fuel economy. Typically Vauxhalls, they say, you know, you can get like 35-40 miles per gallon. People are typically getting about 25 miles per gallon out of these. They are quite big and bulbous. They're not the most practical of cars, and people have had issues with the manual gearbox. The manual gearbox has gone wrong on these cars, so that is something to worth considering. And other people have had paint corrosion issues and also issues with the brakes. Really, it does depend on what car you get. Some people bought these VXRs, had no issue. Other people have had a plethora of issues. It really is dependent. Important thing is just to check it's had a good service history, and just to check out in the areas to see paint corrosion. So, you know, the sills, the wheel arches, look underneath, see if there's any signs of bubbling, etc. Right, last on the list at number 10, we have got, sorry, I forgot to say the price. You can pick one up, again, for about 7 to 8k, but please bear in mind, you might need to upgrade the gearbox and make some adjustments, maybe paint correction, etc. So maybe set aside a grand or two for that. And lastly, number 10, we've got the Audi S3. Now, the Audi S3 is a premium hatchback. It's one of those cars that you think to yourself, you know, I want something a bit more upmarket than a GTI. It's definitely one worth considering. If you're after straight line performance but practicality, the 5-door S3 will float your boat. That's exactly what you want. 0 to 60, 5.6 seconds, ridiculously quick, 261 horsepower, 2 litre 4-cylinder engine. This comes with 4-wheel drive, unlike the other cars in the list. So that's why it puts its power down so well. And obviously you got the Audi interior. Whilst it's not the most exciting of interiors, and it won't have lots and lots of spec or tech as standard, it will give you plenty of room if you've got kids. Plenty of room, you know, if you need put stuff in the back, passengers, big enough boot, good combination of speed and comfort. Not the most engaging of drive, probably because of the 4-wheel drive, but it gives you that comfort and that safety. In terms of price, you're looking like 2011 S3 for about 9 to 10k. They are quite expensive for the age, but then again, it is a premium brand such as Audi. Anyway, let me know what you think of that list. Is there anything I missed off? What would you get out of that list? Let me know. And what you want to see in the next video. Please subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you next time.